Welcome to day 23 in the strategy with which I have won the greatest number of jackpots. Strategy 7, win, walk away, return later. This 7th winning slot strategy has been my mainstay. With it, I've earned the most taxable jackpots. As with my other winning strategies, I cannot give you good luck. What I can provide is an edge by explaining the actions casinos get to choose from when setting up their operating system. Because this is my most used personal winning strategy, I need to tell you what my gambling goals were at the time. Nowadays, I gamble to learn, and then to explain. But back when I was learning this strategy, my gambling goal was threefold. From the beginning, I wanted to learn, but I also wanted to make money, specifically a profit, and while it wasn't immediate, eventually I wanted to maximize complimentary gifts. This winning strategy allowed me to accomplish all three of my goals equally. I learned while earning a profit and what it was like to be in the top tier of a players club with all the best comps. Why are my gambling goals important to you? Because now you have a better idea of what I was trying to accomplish. If you don't remember your gambling goals, check day 8 or review your notes. You wrote down your goals, right? To make take-home money, I decided I needed taxable jackpots from high-limit slot machines. I also needed to be able to cycle bankrolls to earn players' rewards credits and thereby get an assortment of free food, travel, event, and hand-carry gifts. How is this possible? Because there's more than one kind of winning slot machine. It's evident when slots enthusiasts win a taxable jackpot, but it's not so obvious to others when a player is making a profit by cycling their bankroll endlessly. A series of jackpots under the $1,200 taxable limit can also go relatively unnoticed by observers if the player immediately cancels the distinct sequence of lights and sounds from a jackpot roll-up. To not draw undue attention, I've always canceled the roll-up. Do you? I know it's fun to let the lights and sounds play. It's very gratifying in its way. But for me, it wasted time. I preferred to gamble while the playing was excellent. For you to use this winning strategy, you'll need to know your own gambling goals. If you want taxable jackpots, then you want a slot machine that provides them. If you wish comps, then you only need a slot machine that cycles bankrolls. If you want both equally, know that it's possible, if not easy, because I've done it while also learning. High-limit slot machines are not necessary when implementing this winning strategy. Not at all. I've only mentioned high-limit slots here because that's where I learned to implement this strategy. Without further ado, here it is. After winning a decent-sized jackpot, go home. Go home, then come back 1 week later to play the exact same machine, starting about 5 to 10 minutes before the time when you won the first jackpot. For this specific winning slot machine, and for whatever reason in fact exists for it to be a winner, that time of day, on that day of the week, had a higher than usual odds of winning a jackpot. So play it again at that time of that day of the week to see if the reason it was happening in the first place is still in effect. Be aware this advice doesn't necessarily apply on days of special events, such as holidays or other special casino events when the week before wasn't a special event or holiday. However, this strategy does apply for events exactly 1 week apart, like Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, or even Friday to Friday if both typically have big promotional events. A good question to ask is why this strategy works at all. Here's my reasoning for why. As we know, most casino operators have installed an operating system which includes a central computer to remotely control the odds of winning on each slot machine. The casino's intent for getting this central computer is to adjust the odds as needed to meet the casino's financial performance metrics, sometimes legally required within their gaming jurisdiction, but mostly for their business needs. And that's it. That's my reasoning. Casino operators are adjusting the odds on their slots depending on how their day is going financially. They are, as you might imagine, very focused on accomplishing it. But we don't need to know what exactly they are adjusting for or even how they are doing financially for the day. We don't need a seat at their board meetings or even to be a fly on the wall, as they say. Just knowing this adjustment happens so often means our task is, instead, to go out and find these specific slot machines deliberately set with the best odds of winning at specific times of day on specific days of the week. To win, that's our job. So how do we go about doing our job? Here are ways to find the days and times when a specific slot machine has improved odds of winning. Do you win taxable jackpots? With them, you get a receipt or W-2G with it, right? Take a close look and see if it has the slot machine serial number along with the date and time for the jackpot received. What I mean is, you can use your own jackpot information, which you already have. That day of the week and the time of that jackpot for that slot machine is a good time to play that machine with improved odds of winning. If you're an active slots player, note the day, time, and serial number when winning a jackpot or just cycling bankrolls, because that's winning too. To return to play that machine a week later. The intent here is to play through the same time of day, on the same day of the week, and same slot machine as when you'd previously won, but starting a few minutes earlier. What if you don't typically win a hand pay? How do you find a slot machine with improved odds of winning then? Well, take a seat and watch. Frankly, the precise times and specific slot machines that are showing a winning jackpot don't have to be yours. Your casino might even post photos online or announce winners at the time of the wins, which sometimes has enough information to find that machine and play it at the same time and day as the prior win. Let's talk about disadvantages. First, this strategy cannot work if you're not at that casino a week later. Maybe you're vacationing or traveling for business. Whatever the case, sometimes you won't be around a week later. Second, there's a subtle issue with noting many specific times, days, and slot machines into some sort of calendar. If you're going to be doing this at a casino, you'll need to use a pen and pencil along with a piece of paper for this. Don't use your smart device to take notes while in a casino. Using an electronic device as a gambling tool is, in most states, a felony. Please take this concern seriously. Casinos don't mess around with what they and their state gaming regulations consider cheating. Never give a casino a reason, whether it seems reasonable or not, to think you're a cheater. A less serious disadvantage is not being able to frequently record small jackpots, which enable bankroll cycling. For this scenario, you don't need to record your wins. You just make a note of the machine and when, beginning to end, it cycles bankrolls. And any player not immediately canceling their machine's roll-up sequence after they win is easy to spot. Harder to find are players who quickly cancel a roll-up by pressing another button on the machine's console. In either case, watch both for a while to see if small wins are a singular event or if it's one of many and therefore indicates bankroll cycling. Does this strategy work at your casino? That's something you need to find out. I found it at a Horseshoe Casino. Maybe that'll help you if you also play at a Caesars property. But this business practice may have changed due to El Dorado purchasing Caesars Entertainment. New ownership can and likely will change a casino's business practices. Otherwise, reasons a casino might switch off this standard business practice has to do with, naturally enough, their current financial performance. How is the overall economy going? Has there been a casino leadership scandal recently? Is the casino in bankruptcy? Other questions to ask are if a casino would want to use the business practice, which this strategy depends on. Maybe another common business strategy is more appealing to them, like giving out tastes. After all, there's no need for a casino to do both when one works just fine all by itself. One of my local casinos gave out tastes and the other didn't. But coming back a week later at the second casino worked just fine. 50 plus jackpots in 9 months. Fine. All you can do is test to see if a strategy works at your casino. I recommend continuing to play as usual, but begin observing your play and that of other slots enthusiasts over a few visits to your casino. And be ready to take some notes based on what you see. Proceed to today's tasks and resources by clicking the Continue button below.